Yo, you know what I want to sing right now? Okay, right now. I don't even have my headphones in, but I literally, this is what? Good morning, USA. I've got a feeling that it's going to be a wonderful day. The sun in the sky has a smile on his face. He's shining a salute to the American race. Oh boy, it's swell to say, good morning, USA. No,
Is that like
American Dad.
no, yeah, I've never seen that.
You never watched American Dad? Okay. Lakers are unlikely to make a major trade before Thanksgiving. That's the big news. We're going to go into today's show. We're going to do a quick recap of everything that happened last night, as there was a plethora of games. And I think that's just kind of like, you know, what we should talk about right now. I don't know if you're agreement, but let's get right into it. And the first game last night we'll cover is the Orlando Magic and Detroit Pistons. And that was a game that I had to say was a doozy. Okay. Obviously, I was sitting there. I could not be disappointed. I said that in my video, and I was like, I honestly could not be upset with my Orlando Magic because it was just as fun watching the Pistons win that game as it was to watch my Magic fight that game. And I want to hear your thoughts right now. We're going to be taking about a minute with these each, a minute, 2 minutes. It's not we're going to sit here for 20 minutes and talk about each game. You're in agreement with that, Jackson?
Sure.
Okay, so first game from last night that we'll do, because we're going to just do these in orders. Next is the Pacers, Wizards. Some will talk more. What are your quick takeaways from this game? I thought Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren, dogs. And Jalen Suggs, hey, he can actually play basketball, just needs to learn not to foul. And Bull made an actual sighting of playing positive basketball.
Yeah. Well, Jaden Ivey, rookie of the year. Jalen Duren's explosive. Cade Cunningham's shot will eventually fall. Bogdanovich was a money move, 6 threes. Paolo Banchero domination. You're right, Bobo. I hope to hop on the Bobo train soon. And yeah, Jalen Suggs with what did he drop? 21. That was cool.
Yeah, the only negative with Jalen Suggs was I think he had 6 personal fouls. So that was the one thing you want to take the negative. But I really think Paolo Banchero stole the show. Paolo Banchero actually looked like the number one pick. There's always people complaining about the number one pick in his first game that like Cade Cunningham, he got dogged. I know he was marred by an injury, but people, were dogging him for not looking like the number one pick. Paolo Banchero is one of those not few, but one of those number one picks. First game just looked like the guy, There was at the end of the game, we were down 3. He literally went coast to coast, didn't even think about it, crossover, got the bucket to bring it to 107, 108. And then we had, I believe, Isaiah Stewart hit that 3 to make it 111 to 107. And this game ended up falling to 109 to 113. Any thoughts before we move on to the Pacers Wizards game?
I don't think the Magic. I like the Wizards' chances better than the Magic's chances right now.
I agree. One thing I realized, there are injuries on the Magic's team.
Yep.
The people don't realize Markelle Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, a few other guys, not healthy. So they didn't really have a bench. They had 2 guys in Caleb Houston, and I forget who was the other one. It was Caleb Houston, and I believe someone else.
Terrence Ross is nice off the bench. I just think
he was starting.
Deeper.
Mo Bamba and Caleb Houston could not hit a shot last night. They both were just bricking everything. But let's move over to the Pacers Wizards, and I thought that game was fun because the Wizards look. First off, if you need to buy stock in a player, buy it in Kristaps Porzingis right now. Kristaps Porzingis stock about to be like expensive by the end of the year because people are going to be like, this guy came back, and they were using him as a decoy a lot of the times. And even though I think he only finished with 3 assists, he had a double-double. His rim protection he honestly moved, just moving physically. If he had not scored a single point, physically, he is moving the best I've seen him move since New York. Second, love Kristaps Porzingis with a beard. Kyle Kuzma continued to be the 20-point scorer. Bradley Beal continued to do his thing. The whole starting lineup accounted for I think 80 points. They looked good. Denny got hurt. He's fine. It's a right ankle sprain. Rui needs to get going. They need to find somebody else than Anthony Gill. He kind of killed the team in the third quarter. allowed the Pacers to come back. Daniel Gafford's a good backup center. I like Monte Morris and Will Barton. I think right now when I look at this, Kristaps Porzingis, I could see him just being an all NBA team member, as he's going to average career high assists. He's going to average a double-double, I think. I just think Kristaps Porzingis, the way they were using him as a decoy and he would kick out to the shooters, was so good. There was one where he pump faked as if he was going to take a mid-range from the free throw line and then did a crossover and looked left, but was looking like he was going to attack the rim. And as he looked left, he threw it to Bradley Beal, who hit a three-point shot. I think they're figuring it out. Still a little bit of questions on defense. Any thoughts from this? Also, the Pacers, real quick. Jalen Smith, Tyrese Halliburton, and Benedict Mathurin might be the three cornerstones.
Yeah, Jalen Smith was a huge give for him. I agree with Washington. I really like their depth. Like DeLon Wright, Will Barton come off the bench. I mean, that's some nice depth there. Pacers, dude, Benedict looked awesome. Tyrese looked awesome. Jalen Smith's awesome. I mean, they're still going to trade Buddy Hield to Miles Turner soon because they're going to win some games soon. But, yeah, I like the way they're looking right now. I really like Tyrese and Benedict last night.
Yeah, no, I thought the young guy – this team has a lot of talent in terms of young guys. And I want to shout out – and I don't think the Pacers get enough recognition, and this will be my 2 cents for the Pacers. They are a great – their scouting department, their general have a great job at identifying and developing talent. Because if you move past Benedict Mathurin and Jalen Smith and Tyrese Halliburton, I mean, Chris Duarte, he had a quiet night, but O'Shea Brissett, a guy that they developed, okay, and then now Terry Taylor, 2 guys that were either second round or undrafted guys that they've brought in. Andrew Nembhard, I know he didn't play, but he's going to be a good player for them. And even Kendall Brown, that guy was a 5-star recruit. I think they just do a good job of recognizing talent.
Yeah.
All right, next.
Welcome to the Jackson Elstro Show. Yeah, I am your Pirtle champ.
I'm back.
Cyro wasn't ready to.
Next game, we'll be doing the Atlanta Hawks and the Rockets. And you know what? It's crazy to think about that the new future center for the Houston Rockets is Bruno Fernando. It's crazy. And I don't know, man. It's looking like that.
Future center, cornerstone, future center.
Bruno Fernando.
No. Bruno did a great job, but I don't think our franchise center is on the team yet.
Oh, you fucking given up on Alperen Şengün?
No, I haven't, but he turned the ball over 6 times. He's 20 years old. He's like 3 months into being 20. I mean, he needs more time, and he has his limitations. But from both sides, first off, I like the Hawks. They couldn't make a shot at all. But DeJounte really stepped up for him. John Collins looked great. DeAndre Hunter looked great. Trey's going to start making those threes. I like their depth. The Holiday brothers did a lot that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. So I was very pleased with that. Bros. Onyeka Okongwu, the G. The Rockets, it's going to be a long season for us because of defense. We had like 6 turnovers in the first 6 minutes. But, KPJ looked awesome. Bruno looked awesome. Jabari had a lot of open shots. Tari Eason only saw 15 minutes. Jalen Green struggled, but, we're going to win more than 17 games this season. So, as as Aaron said in the chat, I'm watching out for the Houston Rockets. I mean, you almost won. They almost won the game, or they were in the game the whole time until the very end. Where
let's admit that was because the freaking Atlanta Hawks could not hit the right side of a bar.
The Houston Rockets defense is much better than anticipated, and I think Houston Atlanta's a top 4 seed to a lot of people. So I think the fact that they were in the game the whole time with as sloppy as they started, I mean, they fixed that up. They cleared it. They got some solid pieces for sure. I'd be more worried about. Yeah.
What do you be more worried about?
I mean, don't let them get star players, dude. Houston's going to be really good soon.
All right. So for me, think the interesting part in all of this is the fact that, hey, what I want to say is Atlanta's starting lineup is legit. John Collins and DeAndre Hunter look like they came to work this year, and they want to do what they need to do to win a championship. And that means that this starting lineup between the 4 players right there, I don't know if you knew this, okay? They accounted for, you want to know how many points? You want to know how 89 points between John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, Trae Young, and DeJounte Murray. 91 if you include Clint Capella. Hey, by the way, Clint Capella, I'm sorry, boy, your job is gone by the end of the year. Unless Onyeka Okongwu can't learn how to stop fouling people. As soon as Onyeka Okongwu learns how to stop fouling people and can actually be on the floor in the fourth quarter, Clint, you're coming off the bench, or maybe start and trade. Yeah. And this is a team that isn't fully healthy. Bogey's not healthy. We got to see some Jalen Johnson. He was nice. The Holiday Bros, I hyped them up all off season. I said this was a premeditated move. People were like, they were going to get cut. They just were throw-ins. I was like, no, why would they trade for one brother and sign the other brother on the same day? Okay. And Okongwu, I think he's going to have a breakout. I think by the end of the year, you're going to see a lineup of Okongwu, Young, Murray, Hunter, and Collins. I will say something somebody pointed out, and I rewatched the third quarter. Trae Young did kind of get selfish in the third quarter and just started shot chucking. I don't know if it was because
it was like the second it was all game. Second possession, he took a logo 3 and
okay, so smart. I don't know if I noticed it more in the third, but yeah, no, someone pointed out, he was like, it was the guy said, he's like, I don't know if it was Trae Young being jealous of DeJounte. He's like, everything was working with running through DeJounte, and then Trae just kept touching the ball and kind of being selfish and it looked like he was jealous, like give me my touches.
I think he was just trying to get going. He never really got going last night. And
you were just trying to think he was just trying to kickstart it.
I think he was. I mean, Atlanta in general couldn't really hit a shot. So
no one, 28%, dude. It was horrendous. I mean, granted, the Rockets somehow couldn't even hit less shots.
Yeah, right. I know.
Which is unbelievable to think about. Let's move on to the next game. We have
Jabari took 17 shots, 11 threes.
Yeah, when I looked through that game, I was like, why did everyone take this many shots? I would have called. I know, and it's the beginning of the season. You can't blame anyone. That's first couple weeks, or some guy who come out on fire, and for the first 2 weeks he's shooting 60% from 3, and it's TJ Warren bubble version all over again. They're like,
that's why I'm really sticking to my take of, I think Jabari will be between 13 and 15 in the first half of the season just because of efficiency. Like Jalen Green knew.
So right here, I think this was an interesting one. The Pelicans beat the Nets, and that was a doozy because I think this, if the Pelicans continue to play like this for the next first 2 weeks to a month of the season, I'll be first to say it if I see it after the first week or two, but I'm starting to think that the Pelicans are legitimate contenders. Like we were talking about, that they were kind of, looking on the outside if everything fell in the dominoes fell in the right direction. But holy shit, tonight or last night, we saw a Pelicans team, Zion Williamson and just Brandon Ingram combined had 53 points. Then you throw on another 21 from CJ McCollum to bring you to 74. You had 89 points between Jonas Valanciunas, CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, okay? Just between those guys right there, 89 points, 95 including Herb Jones. You throw in 16 from Trey Murphy III, who's probably going to be a six-man of the year candidate, it seems like. You had 111 points just from 6 players. That is unreal. And the fact that they shot the ball well, they played good defense. They had 60-plus rebounds tonight, okay? The Nets couldn't do anything. The Nets literally looked awful. No, anybody not named Kevin Durant or Patty Mills couldn't hit their shot, okay? The bench, I don't know why they were playing Daron Sharp that much. Yes, they needed some defense, and I think they put him in that much for rebounding. But I don't even know. It was crazy to think the whole team.
They need a big man. They're still a piece away from being I think that team. But yeah, I mean, Ben Simmons, keep in mind, Ben Simmons hasn't played in a really long time, and he looked gas, and he fouled out really fast. No one, I don't even know, KD played well, but a lot of it was when it didn't really matter. Zion's defense looks so improved. It still just comes down to me with the bench. I mean,
it was unreal. I've never seen Zion play.
They're starting 5 will give you 80 easily every single night. It's just going to come down to the bench. 80 is being generous. Like, I mean, it's a really talented team, and it just is literally going to come down to the bench. So
I think the Pelicans might be the Suns' downfall. I know the Suns last night show. I mean, Damian Lee. We'll talk about the Damian Lee shot. I saw that in live time, and I could not believe it. I was like editing a Dallas Mavericks thumbnail because I was like so confident that the Dallas Mavericks were going to win that game. But
I don't know if this is the best time to mention this. I'll talk more later, but just to get it out,
what?
Last night really demonstrated to me how far of a gap there is between Golden State and the rest of the Western Conference.
We'll talk about it later.
There is a gap. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
But the Pelicans, similar. I'm looking at the Pelicans, and I'm like, holy shit, this is like if the Phoenix Suns system just had way more talented players. Like, I'm not saying the Suns players aren't talented. It's just you got a freak athlete in Zion Williamson. Like, the starting lineup, I just think if you like Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, and I guess whoever, and Cam Johnson. I don't know which lineup are you taking. I think I rather have
Pelicans.
That's what I'm saying. I rather have. I think this is a way more talent. Like, I rather have Jonas Valanciunas over DeAndre Ayton because I know Valanciunas is consistent. He wants to be there, and he has an all-around game. He's not elite. He's probably an elite rebounder, but he's not like number one at anything, but he's not the worst at anything. He's
a scorer, man. He's a bucket.
Oh, he's a bucket. On a bad team, he's a 20 points per score easily. CJ McCollum, guy who turned to point guard late in his career, just a scorer we knew all the time. Brandon Ingram scores. Zion Williamson, a guy looking like they just have a lot of two-way guys. Herb Jones, two-way guy. Off the bench, you got a small ball 5 and Larry Nance. And this team isn't even healthy. That's the other thing. Okay, they still got they had a guy missing, and Kyra Lewis Jr. He's not really a guy, but Jackson Hayes is the one I'm saying. Another big guy that comes in and
Jackson with an X. I was at a shop the other day, and they were asking for my name, and I said Jackson. She was like, CK or X? I'm like, CK, get the fuck out of here.
I know.
Do I look like a bitch? I agree, Andre. We'll talk about that once we talk clip show.
So we're gonna go over to Bulls Heat.
Yes.
I actually missed this game. Watched the highlights. Yeah.
Someone's knocking. It's father time. I have massive concerns for this very shallow Miami Heat basketball team.
There is a legitimate concern for this Miami Heat team. And do you want to start on the Miami side, or do you want to start on the Bulls side? Because first off, I do want to give you the floor for this one because this is your team. But can we give a round of applause to a man who's playing defense who might be the third best center in the NBA behind Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic? Nikola Vucevic came out, had 3 blocks, had 15 points, 17 rebounds. I know his shot wasn't really falling, 2 assists. Nikola Vucevic looked like the guy that a few years ago there was a legitimate argument if Vucevic was going to be a top 5 center, if he was going to become one up, if not,
I know, yeah. So from the Bulls side, I mean, Ayo looks awesome as well. He was huge defensively. He's not going to shoot. I think he shot 2 of 10 or 3 of 10 from the field. That won't happen every time. They don't even need him to be the scorer. But no Lavin tonight. So, Zach's going to do wonders for him. DeMar hasn't missed a beat. Nikola looks great. Patrick Williams is the one question mark I have, because if he still is playing like this by the trade deadline, they might look to move him, because Chicago's a lot better than people think. If Lonzo's coming back and Patrick Williams isn't contributing enough offensively, or if it's not a huge impact on defense, that's my one concern. But I think Chicago is a lot deeper than people expect. I think Goran and Drummond were huge additions. Drummond looks like rejuvenated almost being in Chicago. I love this Bulls team. Alex Caruso is so critical to them. I thought that they looked great. Miami sucks, dude. They suck. Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, it's solid, but Tyler Hero has his limitations on defense. Kyle Lowry, father time's clicking. PJ Tucker could maybe save them, but they don't have PJ Tucker. Jay Crowder could maybe help save them a little bit, but that hasn't happened yet. I don't think their depth is good at all. I hate saying playing, but I think they're going to be around the play-in.
So for me, when I look at this team right now, the big thing for me, I love what's going on, for what they have. Like Pat Williams had a quiet night, but they just have so many options. Okay. And like, first off, Goran Dragic, Kobe White, Ayo DeSumo, Caruso, and arguably even DeRozan, because there were some looks where they went a little big and DeRozan was playing more of like the point guard role, which like, I mean, he has been doing.
Just like San Antonio.
Yeah, literally. And I think it's something that's going to be interesting with this team that I think when you look at it, they're missing Lonzo, okay? And they still didn't even touch Derek Jones Jr., who they brought back, okay? And Dalen Terry, who they drafted. And they only went a 9-man rotation. I'm still confused. What the positions does Javonte Green? Is he a wing or is he a small ball forward?
Dude, he can literally play, in my opinion, 2 to 5. I
2
mean,
to 5?
You're not gonna put him at 5, but he can play 4. And he
So is he a Royce O'Neal, Jay Crowder,
exactly.
PJ Tucker?
Maybe not those last two, but I like Royce O'Neal. I view him more as like a Josh Hart, Bruce Brown.
Okay. Yeah. So glue guy, multi-positional defender.
He's so important to Chicago. Like he's a huge energy culture piece.
No, I started following him last year, and I would follow Javonte Green, and I would look at him. I'm like, what position are you playing? Because he would be close to the rim on defense, but then on offense, he's spacing the floor. So for me, I'd be watching it, and I'd be like, what position are you? And then like he'd be labeled guard last year. This year he's labeled small forward. So I was always wondering. And for me, I think this big thing is when I look at this team, I think the guard plays is what's the difference. Last year, that was their Achilles heel. This year, it's their saving grace, and then they're going to get Lonzo back. And the thing is, with a lot of their guards can either play point guard, shooting guard, even small forward at times. Like DeSumo could play 1 through 3. Caruso, you could argue, could play 1 through 3. Levine can play 1 through 3. Okay, and Levine didn't even play tonight. That's another thing that we didn't even talk. Go like no Levine. There was no.
Which also concerns me. I don't like Chicago's health stuff going on right now. They're not clear at all with any of this, and it's very aggravating.
Yeah. Give me 3 seconds.
1, 2, 3.
Give me your closing thoughts.
The Miami Heat suck. The Chicago Bulls don't suck, and they're good. That's pretty much it. DeMar, dude, 37. Forget about it. Forget about it. My buddy texted me last night. He's like, I want DeRozan. Like, he's a Laker fan. I'm like, well, like, cool. I also want DeMar, right? So, who has him?
Sorry, somebody knocked on my door.
It's the RA. They smell the weed. Hide the piece, Cyro. Playing team, get out of here. Get out of here.
And no, I think right now, what'd you just say?
He said, Andre says they're a playing team. If the injuries don't go their way, I'm listening to like the Athletic call him a 10 seed, and you're the award guys. You're voting on the awards. You have Chicago Bulls as a 10 seed.
One second. I'm getting like text.
I don't think Chicago is a playing team.
I don't think so either.
8 to 9. You know what would happen for the Bulls to be an 8 to 9 seed? Lonzo would have to miss the entire season, or he'd come back and miss a bunch of games, and they're just keeping issues. Zach LaVine would have to have issues all season. I think Patrick Williams would have to continue to putting up 4 points and 2 rebounds. I think that Ayo DeSumo would have to shit the bed. I think DeMar would have to see a huge fall off. I mean, obviously DeMar's not dropping 37 every night, but if DeMar's giving me 22, I mean, when this team's healthy, man, they're really good. And like I said, I think Drummond's completely revitalized here in Chicago. I think this is where he wants to be. And he's still a younger player. So I think people forget that. Goran's just a money move. Watching the Bulls last night made me remember, like, damn, dude, if Toronto still had Goran, if Toronto Goran situation worked out, forget about it.
Forget about it.
It felt so good. The Bulls are not going to be better than the Nets because we don't have 3 All-Stars, but It is what it is. I think I would give the Nets a slight leg up. I mean, we're not fully healthy, so that's just it's kind of hard to compare apples to oranges.
Yeah, no. I definitely think it's something to look at. But here we'll move over to the Cavaliers and Raptors. And with that,
Wait, who am I? Who am I?
Stephen A.
That was not a basketball play. That was not a basketball play. They should not have won that game. That was not a basketball play. That was a dirty play. And Toronto sucks. Who am I?
Stephen A. Smith
I'm
Skip
shitty
Bayless?
Cleveland fans from last night.
Oh.
Yeah.
So right now we found out that Darius Garland left the game with a left eye laceration in the 108 to 105 loss. We also, as I love Scotty Barnes, that Scotty Barnes is going to have a great year this year, but this is still Pascal Siakam's team. OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent, they all had great games. And I think it's definitely something really interesting to do. And I really think that, like, when you look at this team, give me 1 second. I'm getting text.
Yeah, I got a lot of comments on this game. So I dropped a video right after it. I mean, Cleveland's a lot better depth-wise than I think a lot of people think. I was very concerned, actually, that Isaac Okoro saw, 11 minutes, 13 minutes, something like that. Jetty Osman was making his threes. Dean Wade was doing his thing. DG, the PG, he went down. So, I mean, it's kind of tough to gauge on. But Donovan Mitchell, what was it, 31? Jared Allen's a dog. I mean, I said a bold prediction in my video that I don't think is that bold. Cleveland, Toronto could be a second-round matchup in the playoffs. One of these teams could legitimately, if the cards fall in their favors, you get past the first round. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a second-round matchup to get into the Eastern Conference Finals. And both teams were missing valuable pieces. So I don't even really want to hear it from Cleveland fans because, Otto Porter Jr., Kem Birch, Chris Boucher, Malachi Flynn, these are all critical, valuable players to what Toronto is looking to do. So I thought Scotty Roy is so improved just with his confidence and his shot in general. It is Siakam's team. It's Freddie Double V's team as well. But Scotty's right there with him. I mean, I loved what I saw from Scotty. I think that the Raptors are a very deep basketball team. Juancho is going to get going soon. Delano was playing good defense, but that's still where my concern lies as the backup point guard. Cleveland, though, I mean, it's going to take some time to put this together, right? So it was a good basketball game. It was a hard-fought, great battle, both sides. And I think both teams are going to have very, very happy seasons. Raps ran the fourth completely. What was it, like 31-21 or 33-21, something like that. Watching it, it was so cool to see Scotia like that. I mean, everybody was into it. It was a very exhilarating win. I was very, very happy with the way that it ended. I had to hop on a video.
So for me, when I looked at this, people are also forgetting Chris Boucher and Kem Birch are out. So probably Koloku and Banton and Juancho Hernangomez are, going to be looking out because the backup rotation is probably be Thad Young, Precious Chua, Kem Birch, and Otto Porter Jr. and Chris Boucher. That's so the fact that this team, hopefully in a few weeks we won't see him playing Fred VanVleet 39 minutes. OG won't be playing 38. Gary won't be playing 37. Those minutes will be closer to.
Yeah, it won't.
I think this was a big reason people didn't realize this team was a lot better last year, but the reason they didn't win as many games was they were burnt out in some.
You can't do this for 81 more games. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's why they brought in. You're probably thinking, Cyro, that's so many guys off the bench. Thad Young, Chris Boucher, Kem Birch.
That's the point. They have a 10, 11-man rotation right now. I mean, that's the point. That's why. I mean, we can't see any of those guys play 40 minutes. Maybe Scotty can play 40 a night, but I don't want any of the players playing more than 38, which is something that they've had to lean on in recent seasons, and it always comes back to bite them. So even Christian Koloko, his rebounding, his putback dunk was awesome. His just rim protection, just being a big body. I think he fits Toronto's mold in the future perfectly. So, don't sleep on guys Chris Boucher is a vital piece to that bench, vital piece to the bench. And we still haven't even really seen what Otto offers this team because he's going to offer him a lot. So It's awesome, and yeah, I'm not concerned with Cleveland, but I didn't like seeing Isaac. I didn't like that, and it sucks, and it's not concerning, but it's a question mark. Raps were the 5th seed last season.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
and it's crazy, and they should have been higher.
Yeah.
So let's move over to the next game, and that next game is the Memphis Grizzlies over the Knicks. There was a few things to talk about there, as it was a good game. Okay, and I thought, like, look, I was watching this, and I found it like interesting as hell because I definitely think it was a closer game than expected, but also kind of disappointing if you're the Knicks, right? Like this isn't what you want to start off the year.
What?
Okay, you want to win to start off the year.
I mean, yeah, but when my quote unquote best player on my team is going 3-18, it's kind of hard to do that. I think that like Mitchell Robinson played 12 minutes, 11 minutes, something like that. Man, fouled out immediately, and that is your goddamn issue, Mitch. It's so annoying. Julius Randle's back. There's no issue with Julius Randle, in my opinion. Jalen Brunson was huge. I mean, he's the reason that they made it 2 over, or I guess him and Cam Reddish, but the last play literally was the reason that they went into overtime. He made some nice buckets. He was a high IQ basketball player. Dallas is definitely missing him. We'll talk about that in a second. Isaiah Hartenstein came in and filled in perfectly for Mitchell Robinson, perfectly for him. Memphis, I still have a lot of concerns. However, I will give them the benefit of the doubt because they are missing a bunch of players. I don't think this was a pretty game in any way, shape, or form. If John Morant wasn't on the court, or if John Morant wasn't John Morant, this game sucks. Santi Aldama is that guy. I'm so glad you got me on that train early. It's just cool to see it come to fruition. But you got to keep in mind Memphis is missing like Triple J, Dylan Brooks. That's 2 starters. You're missing 2 starters. So
Yeah,
Knicks, I have concerns. I still think they're a playing team. I liked Cam Reddish a lot. However, once Grimes is back, I'm a little concerned that like the next game you're going to see Cam Reddish play 12 minutes. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Julius Randle had a good season last year. I don't like the slander on him, but RJ Barrett's not going 3-18 every night. I'll tell you that.
yeah. And something that I found interesting was what was up with Mitchell Robinson's minutes.
Yeah, he fouled out immediately.
That's what
Literally
I'm
fouled
saying.
out immediately.
Yeah, and like, how did he do that? How do you do
That's
that?
his issue. It's just very frustrating for Knicks fans.
I never really noticed that. I didn't know that. I've always watched Mitchell Robinson. I knew he was a good basketball player. I didn't know the fouling was that big of an issue. Yeah, Isaiah Hartenstein, he had a good game. He came out and had a positive effect on the game. But he's, I just think also
he's a
they
dog.
still don't use Obi Toppin. I know Julius Randle had a great game, but Obi Toppin showed at the end of the year that he should be getting played more.
I know. I think D Roche played more as well. I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird. Do you see John Morant's like did like a double move and like behind the back pass to who was it? I think it. Damn, I can't remember who it was, but John Morant did something crazy at the end of the game. It was a crazy move. I liked Ja last night though. I thought he got his teammates going nicely. He actually made some nice defensive plays. He had that huge block on Jalen Brunson at the end. It was cool. I'm not worried about Memphis. I just we'll talk about it again. I really think that there's such a gap from Golden State. Los Angeles is right there, most likely right there with them. And I have a good comparison for it once we talk about it, but I just think there's such a big gap from them, like huge gap. I mean, Memphis isn't. That's why I look at Swaggy telling me, Memphis would have all these Memphis fans saying they would have won if blank didn't happen, if blank didn't happen. It's like, well, you're wrong. I'm sorry. Like it's just, I'm sorry. You're wrong. Santi Adama I think he's going to be a nice X factor for him though. Contract looked good too. So they will get going soon. And once they get Brooks back, Memphis they're a solid team. I just don't think they're a 2 seed. So
do you want to talk? I was going to say a little quick recap. The Timberwolves looked dominant over the Thunder, except in the second half, they kind of let the Thunder come back, and the Thunder looked like a legit team. I don't know if you really want to talk about the Thunder game.
I mean, not really. Yeah, it was. It's cool to see him, but it's going to take some time to gel. For all
and then the Hornets
played horrible.
The Hornets got a free win over the Spurs. The only interesting part of that game was that Nick Richards had 19 points. Okay, and the starting lineup of the Hornets looked good, but they were playing the Spurs. But also the interesting part was Jeremy Sochan started and played 30 minutes.
Yeah, that was really cool. He didn't play great. Keldon played good, but yeah, I'm excited for Sohan that he started. He's the youngest starter since I think 2006 or 1998 or it's something. No, this was the first opening day loss for San Antonio since 1998, I believe, and it's the youngest player to start for San Antonio since I think 2005, 2006.
Yeah, this was. Let's go over to the actual game that matters, and it is the Utah.
Real quick, let's do the Nuggets.
What do you think?
Oh my goodness, the actual game! You son of a bitch.
That was the game that actually mattered. That's what I meant, because I thought the Hornets got a free win over the Spurs. Okay, yeah. And then we had the Thunder. The Thunder game was too close for comfort, and I thought this game was the only one worth talking about out of those. And this game was more of a disappointment for the Denver Nuggets. Dude, you know what's the crazy part is they had a 25-point lead.
It's so disgustingly bad. I mean, I think we were right that Utah is kind of much better than a lot of people are giving them credit for, and they're gonna have to get rid of these young guys.
Danny Ainge is calling people.
Yeah, he's already on the phone.
He's like, we won a game. We weren't supposed to win one till December.
Yeah, I mean, it will take Denver some time to there's a lot of new faces in first off, and you also just have returning faces that haven't played together in a while, so it's going to take them a little bit. But obviously, this is not the way you want to start a season. However, I don't put any stock into it.
Yeah, no, I was shocked about this whole situation, and yeah, Andre, you said it. The upper echelon of the Jazz are fucking pissed. They're calling Jared Vanderbilt, and they're like, Jared Vanderbilt, why the fuck did you grab 5 offensive rebounds? Who told you to do that? We don't need second chance points. And then they probably called up Lauri Markkanen, and they were like, Lowry, Colin, we played you 20 minutes for a reason. Doesn't mean to score a point a minute. You scored 20 points in 20 minutes. We're going to have to play you 10 minutes now. And if you fucking score 20 points in 10 minutes, your ass is shipped out of town.
It was cool to see. I love that actually a lot.
So did I. I loved it. Obviously, I was cheering for the Nuggets, but first, I want to take a few things. Not Colin Sexton. Taylor Horton-Tucker's a bum. Taylor Horton-Tucker, please give up on that.
Fuck you.
Rudy Gay turned the clock back.
He's out of here.
Dude, also, I want to talk about Kelly Olynyk and Lauri Markkanen being out there. I want to see this lineup, and this would be funny as hell if they ran Kelly Olynyk, Lauri Markkanen, Leandro Balmaro. Oh, I wish they had Simone Fontecchio and Walker Kessler. First off, I just think it's funny. Obviously they're basically all white, but I think the funnier part would be that everyone has a fucked up last name. Imagine if an announcer had to go Markkanen to Olynyk, Olynyk to Fontecchio, Fontecchio to Kessler, Kessler to Markkanen, Markkanen to Olynyk. You know how Balmaro in there. You just how I feel like they would just have a tongue word salad.
Yeah.
All the syllables. But
they'd start naming first names and numbers and 50 to 12.
Yeah. They're giving away Markkanen and Mike for cast considerations for real, man. For real. But right now, Bones Highland, he kind of had a quiet night. Bruce Brown, he also it was really the reason why the Nuggets lost this game was as soon as they took Contavious Caldwell-Pope didn't do shit, but as soon as they went to the bench, there was no one helping them. The bench couldn't do shit for them. No one could score a bucket. And it's the beginning of the year. People's shots aren't hitting. It'll need to get back into rhythm, and everything will be A-okay.
Yeah, the timing's just off.
Yeah, it's just getting that muscle memory back. Now, let's talk about the game that was a shocker last night. A man pulled his inner Kobe, and he's like, I'm going to take the least efficient shot in basketball, and that is a low post block fadeaway jumper.
He had a good look. I don't know. I tweeted right after it. Didn't I have a way Spencer Dinwiddie can improve. It's called jumping. I mean, if Spencer Dinwiddie jumped, it's it wasn't even it was great defense until the shot. It's a hard shot to make, but He's an NBA player. Damian Lee's a professional basketball player. People were clowning this guy all day because the announcer said that's why he has a ring. That's why he has a ring. Damian Lee would not be in the league anymore if he can't make shots like that. Like, Damian Lee is a really solid basketball player. He was a really nice role player for the Golden State Warriors. And Spencer Dinwiddie, it's 4 letters. Jump. Literally jump. I mean, it frustrated the shit out of me because I'm not rooting for the Phoenix Suns this season. Like,
So
CP0 got benched in the last 7 minutes. Father Time knocked. They want him. They got Kyle last year, and now they want Chris Paul. Mikal Bridges didn't do enough for me. Cam Johnson's cool.
Mikal was awesome. Don't shit on Mikal. If there's anybody on the Suns that did
11 points is going to get you to the finals.
He had a double-double.
We know Mikal Bridges is a deep-point candidate. You're going to need more than 11 if
he is a deep-point candidate. He showed it tonight.
Their depth sucks. Their
depth sucks. The big problem is the wig. Who the fuck is the wig? Josh Okogie? Torrey Craig?
Right.
Like, that was a big problem. So
Damian
Lee, I think Damian Lee gets catches a lot of flack, and people dish on Damian Lee because everyone thinks the only reason he's in the NBA is because he's Steph Curry's brother-in-law.
Yeah, brother-in-law.
And you don't realize, first off, Damian Lee went to high school to where all my best friends went to high school. Actually, 5 minutes away from Calvert Hall. Calvert Hall College High School. That's where 5 minutes away from your cousin's high school, actually.
Oh, no shit.
You can, have you ever seen your cousin's high school, Towson?
No.
Okay, if you were at Towson, you could walk down the road, and then you would be at Calvert Hall College High School. Great school, a lot of money there. A lot of me and my best friends, I didn't go there, but all my best friends pretty much went there. They're Cardinals. All my friends were Cards. But, yeah, so he went to one of the best private school basketballs in Maryland, and then he went to college, and he was a great college basketball player. Yes, did he get an opportunity? Probably because his brother was Steph Curry.
No,
I'm not saying did that help.
Is he older?
He's older, but did it help? No, he's not older. He's younger.
To get to Golden State.
Yeah, to get to Golden State. That's what I'm saying. It helped. It helped. It helped. It
doesn't hurt him.
It doesn't hurt him, but it's not like I married Steph Curry's brother. I mean, Steph Curry's sister. And, I look at Steph Curry, I was like, I haven't played basketball since high school, but you want to put me on the Warriors training camp? Like, it's not like that, It's not really, I wouldn't say it was nepotism. There was basketball skill there, to begin with.
You're right, Andre. The Currys, they got that. They got some good genes, don't they? Let's talk real quick about Dallas. All right. First off, Tim Hardaway Jr. needs to be in the starting lineup. Put Dinwiddie on the bench, and that's not. It's just it works better. If your bench player that shouldn't be on the bench gives you 16 straight points in 4 minutes, why is he not finishing the game? Why is he not finishing the game? Luka almost won that game. Dallas's offense stalled at the end. Luka wanted a pick. He didn't get the pick. He had to put up like a contested 35-footer. And I mean,
that was going in. If it had just a little, if he was a foot closer, that shot was in.
If he didn't shoot 2 of 10 from downtown last night, that shot's in.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Like,
let's close this up.
Then when he started, right?
Yeah. Then when he started next to Luka with
I
JaVale McGee, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Reggie Bullock, which I think sorry, JaVale, you shouldn't be starting 16 consecutive points from my man Christian Wood.
I know. You can start JaVale, but close with
for 5 minutes.
Close with Wood.
You know what was
no disrespect to Maxey, but like, come on.
You know what was a spectacle last night? This was a good game.
It was a great game. Yeah.
It was a good game.
Whirlwind. It was a roller coaster.
Yeah, it was more the fact that I think Sacramento started slow, and then they had a bad fourth quarter, and then also Portland could have easily won this game if they didn't freaking shoot themselves in the foot in the second quarter, and they couldn't hit a basket. But at this game, this was literally, first off, another example of the starting lineup could put up points. Between the 4 starters, Josh Hart, Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, and Jeremy Grant, they put up right there between Grant and Lillard, they had 43 points. And then between Hart and Simons, they had 41 points. And right there, you had 84 points from your starting lineup. I mean, 4 starters, 92 from your starting lineup. And then you had just 23 points off the bench. Justice Winslow turned up back the clock looking like the guy who was supposed to be the starting point guard for – remember Justice Winslow almost got a big contract from the Heat when we thought he was a point guard for them, and it was like Justice Winslow.
He's a beast. He can do everything.
Yeah. Naz Little, he had a quiet game. So did Drew Eubanks. They didn't do much, but they did stuff that didn't show up on the stats sheet. Still put in a positive, Naz Little. Shadon Sharp. Okay, this kid was ready. Ready. He didn't need college basketball. This kid was ready, and he might be the reason why Josh Hart is starting, because they're like, oh, Josh Hart can start because we got a 6-man in Shadon.
Well, he's going to need to see
not
more
Shadon,
than
Shaden. Sorry, not Shadon. Shaden.
I keep saying Shadon too.
So do I. It's Shaden. It's Shaden Sharp. It's Shaden fucking Sharp.
He's going to get more than 16 minutes next game.
100%.
Josh Hart, dude, he was so aggressive. And the thing is, and I made a Portland video a couple hours ago, they played bad outside of guys like Grant, Winslow, and Hart. Simons was shooting horribly until the second half. Dame did not have a good game at all. Nurkic looks fat and slow. He sucked last night. I mean, they can win 50 games. I made a 50 game why they can win 50 games.
They could. But can I also say this was the De'Aaron Fox show?
Dude, De'Aaron Fox is one fast ass dude.
Oh, I've said this for years now. De'Aaron Fox is the fastest player in the NBA. Cap. If every NBA player did a foot race, I think De'Aaron Fox would win that 9 out of 10 times.
Fast as fuck.
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox is fast, and the jump shot's looking legit, and it looks like Mike Brown told De'Aaron Fox, "This is your team." You know, I was Sabonis looked like he was playing defense, but Sabonis kind of had a quiet game. We can't have from Sabonis or Harrison Barnes.
He looks completely different. I'm really concerned. Kevin
Huerter looked great. Terrence Davis looked great. I am a bit concerned.
Donkey.
I understand why they're starting KZ Okapala for the defense, but can we just start Keegan Murray? And I know,
come on, KZ. They were trying to.
I know Keegan
Miami valued that guy so high. They value Casey, and that's why.
If Miami gave up
so high, bro,
if Miami gave up on him. If Miami gave up on him, you shouldn't pick him up.
He's a good player, and he won't start once once he's ready to go. I mean, KZ won't start. I don't have issues with KZ. I'm just saying, like, I mean, exactly what you're saying. Like, Miami gave up on him. They needed to trade him. They didn't get him out. Like, I don't know. KZ, he's good. He's raw. He's very raw. Sacramento's a very good team. They're also very raw as well. And I mean, they haven't changed my opinion on them. They could be anywhere in the Western Conference. They could be anywhere except the bottom.
I agree. Now let's preview the Clippers-Lakers tonight. It's a 60% chance that the Lakers actually win this. The Clippers have a 39.9%. But the books, that's according to ESPN, what I just said, but the books have the Clippers as favorites. And let's talk about it. LeBron had a great game. The injury report right now is that Dennis Schroeder and Thomas Bryant and Cole Swider are out, with, I think, Thomas Bryant as well. And I think LeBron James and Anthony Davis will play. I don't know if Reggie Jackson's playing, but for me right here, it's Ventura. What?
Ace Ventura. What's up, MC? Appreciate you.
I'm interested to see this game due to the fact that the Clippers are one of the best shooters. Yeah, it's Ace Ventura.
That's funny, though.
Who called me Ace? Oh, yeah, you do look like Ace Ventura. I do think this is the Clippers win, unless.
Was that so?
Yeah, the Clippers are going to win this. Dude, the Lake. Sell me on the Lakers. Dude, the Lakers are broken. Like, look at this.
Lakers can make some shots.
If the Reggie Jackson, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, Zubac, John Wall, Norman Powell, Luke Kennard, Nick Batum, Robert Covington, Terrence Mann.
No, you're right. The Clippers are one of the deepest teams in the league. No, you're right. And I still am going Lakers. And if this continues, then like last season where I kept going Lakers, then we're going to have some issues. Can we agree Russell Westbrook's not the issue? Can we just agree?
Yeah, he's not the primary issue.
You don't have your best shooters, Matt Ryan, Dennis or Pat Bev. What do you expect to win? Let me tell you this. I said this yesterday. You don't need 3-point shooters. Matt Ryan. I wouldn't even want the quarterback, Matt Ryan. Like, they need to do something. And I'll tell you this, Russell Westbrook doesn't solve everything. And I don't think they should do that Pacers trade. And I know we're not talking about these trades right now, but what does the Pacers trade do for me depth-wise? They still don't have depth. They don't have a go-to guy. Now, if you have Buddy Hield come off the bench, that's a completely different story because Kendrick Nunn looks really solid. But my only issue with Los Angeles is I think it's going to take some time to gel. I mean, these guys have never played together. They've never played together. And if they have, it was very limited. So I think it's going to take them some time. Kawhi's coming off the bench, and LeBron looks amazing. Anthony Davis looks amazing. And I think they're going to start making some shots tonight. When the offense was flowing, and I've had enough of Patrick Beverley and LeBron James walking up to the three-point line and taking a shot without passing, you need to cut. They should have been double teamed, but they need to move. You need to move the ball. You need to cut to the basket because if you don't, your offense is going to look the way it did. And when we saw them come back and they started playing good defense, started turning into offense, they were running in transition, they were attacking the basket. Russ was a huge part of it. That's the way the Lakers, that's why they'll be just fine if they get back to that. But you're right. Logically, it makes no sense for Los Angeles Lakers to beat the Clippers tonight, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, it'll definitely be interesting to see how it goes down. I just think this Clippers team is just way deeper. And yeah, I don't think I personally still will fight that they either should make a deal with the Utah Jazz.
Yes.
Or there's another deal out there. Charlotte, literally took the words out of my mouth. I would call up Charlotte.
I take the Spurs at this point.
I would take the Spurs, but they don't need a center. That's why I don't think the Spurs.
I know.
That's why I said the Utah Jazz because you can get yourself Malik Beasley.
Yeah.
100%. Beasley and maybe Jordan Clarkson and Mike Conley in a deal, or Rudy Gay and Malik Beasley and Mike Conley, something along those lines. Or Charlotte, you could get yourself Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre, and I believe the other guy, maybe Caleb, I think it's Cody Martin, or maybe you just take Gordon Hayward because you can still shoot at.
It's just
Gordon Hayward at this point would be better than what they have.
Exactly. Like, I have no disrespect to Matt Ryan because he's worked his ass off. He DoorDash. He was in the cemetery. But this isn't this isn't another team. This is LeBron James. This is LeBron James at his age when you have guys like Chris Paul, Kyle Lowry falling off a cliff.
Honestly, if you do the Gordon Hayward, you could probably do Gordon Hayward, Kelly Oubre, and Terry Rozier.
I don't want Terry. Give me Martin.
But I think I don't think you can trade him until December because of the. So I think
the extension.
The Russell Westbrook, no picks for Gordon Hayward, Kelly Oubre, and Terry Rozier. That way, Charlotte gets a shit ton of cap space next year, and the only contracts they have 1 more year of Gordon Hayward and 2 or 3 more years of Terry Rozier. And Terry Rozier isn't a problem. Terry Rozier is a good thing, and you got Kelly Oubre expiring. Now let's talk about the last game, Bucks versus Sixers. I got the Sixers in this one. They're going to come out with vengeance. They lost their first game. The Bucks are awesome and everything, but I think the Sixers, they got 1 game in them. And right now it's actually 25% chance that the Bucks win, 75% chance Philadelphia according to ESPN, and the books favorite the Sixers. Right now the only injuries are Chris Middleton and Pat Connaughton. That's why I choose the Sixers.
I'm still going Milwaukee. Philly doesn't play winning basketball. That's the bottom line. And I like that they picked up the pace in the first half of the game and it completely dissipated. It went away. And, Harden's one of the only guys in the league where I'm fine with if he just walks up, pulls a 3. I mean, Harden's back. Joel's going to get double teamed. He's going to get triple teamed. Tobias needs to make shots. Tyrese is better suited for the bench. Let's be real.
Can we agree with this, though? I think James Harden, even though he might be in the best shape he has been in a while, I think James Harden actually lost a step. And it's like fully evident.
He's losing it, but he's crafty. I mean,
he's still good. He's still good, but by the end of the year, it's going to go Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, James Harden.
Well, that's why I like Maxey off of the bench, and I like him finishing the games because he gives you fresh legs, he gives you a bucket.
Also, Tobias Harris looked great.
Well, he looked amazing in the first half, and then his shot disappeared until the very tail end of the game, and that can't happen. So I love their depth. I absolutely love it, but I think Milwaukee's much better as a team right now. I think their offense flows better. I think people are still sleeping on Milwaukee, but there's no Chris, so you might be right, actually. I forgot there's no Chris Middleton tonight.
You don't realize how valuable Chris Middleton is there.
You're 100% right. Yeah.
Like
he's the closer.
If the Bucks had like a Jordan Clarkson or a 6-man that could score that they could plug in, if something happened.
That'd help a lot, yeah.
But they don't. They don't. Grayson Allen isn't, and plus Pat Connaughton being out, they lose another scorer off the bench. So unless it's one of the guys off the bench is about to conjure up their, I don't even know who they could conjure up.
Exactly, Andre. Like by the end of the game, you could tell their new fast-paced offense they were gassed. You saw that horrible turnover by Joel Embiid in that fourth quarter. I mean, that is horrible.
I think
it was horrible.
Can I say something about this? What Andre's bringing up? I don't think the problem with the Sixers is the players. I think the problem with the Sixers might be the coach. Like I'm on the full Bill Simmons.
And that's why they're not winning it all. That's why they're not winning it all. No one fears Philadelphia as a finals contender.
Look at how good the Clippers became with Ty Lue compared to Doc Rivers.
Yeah, Ty Lue is one of the best.
We're basically the
same
with the same roster.
I know it. I don't think Doc's. I mean, Doc's better than a lot of your other options, but
I just think the game changed and Doc didn't change with the game.
That's fair.
Doc is coaching still like it's early 2010s, late 2000s.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I just don't think he's adapted to modern day basketball and understands the concept.
It plays so slow, dude.
That's what I'm about to say. He doesn't understand pacing and spacing the floor.
Once we get to the playoffs, dude, you're going to get double teamed as you did. You're going to get triple teamed. You're going to get trapped.
He's trying to run this team like they're the Boston Celtics in 08.
Yeah. And he did a phenomenal job with facilitating when he was anticipating the doubles. He did a great job finding the open man. But once we get into the playoffs, guys, like they're not going to get as many foul calls as they're getting, and it's going to be even worse. So they need to change. Hey, I gave myself a half point yesterday. That's Colin Sexton.
It's not Colin Sexton.
That's Colin Sexton. You're annoying, and it's Colin Sexton. Oh, it's not Colin Sexton. Wow.
Who has a fro? Oh, you short in the 6'8". Who is a fro?
In the East, right? Is that Cade? No, he buzzed it off. Give me a freaking vote and give me Cade. Oh! Yeah, go fuck yourself. Now it's 2 to 5.5. I'm on fire right now. I got Yuta Watanabe on my second guess yesterday. I'm on fire. You're cheesing. You're just guessing to guess. And it's coming back to bite you in the ass because basketball is back and I'm watching these players. I'm watching their hair and I'm watching their face and I'm learning it all. And you're fucked.
You're fucked. All right. So let's talk
Shout out to Thomas on that one, for real.
Shout out to Thomas for that one.
All right. Thomas is at 1. I'm at 1.
But yeah, no. So for me, I think, the last thing to say, I think, I'm taking Sixers, but going with off what you just said, Sixers, I think Doc's just, dude, I honestly think this team was better. Like the crazy part is they made it farther in the playoffs with Brett Brown. Like, isn't that crazy? I think Brett Brown was a better coach. Brett Brown knew how to coach the Sixers better. Tell me I'm wrong, though.
I mean, they had a phenomenal team, though, and they should have won a championship, but Kawhi and the Raptors felt a little bit differently. They shouldn't have even beat the Raptors last year. If we redid the series right now, I mean...
Also, the whole... If the Lakers win tonight...
Which they will.
If they do...
You give me 2 diet cases of dew.
No, but actually,
Skip.
Oh, Andre, I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, because they were one game. Hey, at least they were a one Kawhi Leonard shot away from making it to the conference finals. That's farther than Doc Rivers has taken them.
That was a first round. That was the best first round matchup of all time.
That was a first round matchup, Toronto versus Philadelphia. I thought it was semifinals because then it ended up being Toronto and Boston.
Toronto took down.
Also, if the Lakers win tonight, everyone's going to say the Lakers are actually a good team.
The Lakers are a good team.
You couldn't say that with
shooting. It's not Russ. It's not Russ's fault. We're relying on Matt Ryan, and it's not the quarterback.
Matt Ryan, the quarterback, actually fucking sucks.
Exactly. I don't even want the quarterback Matt Ryan.
All right.
I don't want any Matt Ryan.
So that's going to be – I think that's going to be today's show, guys. I think
we talked yesterday for 45, 50 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
You did?
We did.
When?
Just now.
Today?
Yes.
Oh, you said yesterday.
Oh no, today we talked yesterday's games for like 45 minutes, which wasn't the plan, but I'm glad because I don't know what else we would have really
It was
touched
good.
on.
I feel like we did a good job.
Yeah. I think it's a perfect blend once we get into the season of what we saw.
It
and
won't
what
be
we're
like
about to
this
see.
every game. Last night we
Exactly.
just
There
had
was
12 games.
just a
There's
ton of
usually
games on,
it's usually only 4 to 6 games a night max.
which yesterday was very it was
Yeah.
it was it was a lot for us. I know you made what 12 videos.
I know. All right. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna go get Chick-fil-A. If you guys enjoyed today's show, be a friend, tell a friend. We'll be back tomorrow, same time as always. Peace out.
But I'll be live from Rockefeller Plaza in Houston, Texas.
Will you actually?
Yeah.
Okay. Have fun.
Not
with that.
Rockefeller Plaza, that's in New York, but
Okay, fine, bud.